I am different, and this is something people will stare at. So a wheelchair for me actually means like freedom. I've went on a date with someone and he just asked me 5 times if I'm feeling something. Down there, yeah.
Freaks No More. Hey everyone, I'm Vicky and this is Freaks No More, the show where we tackle myths about visible and invisible disabilities and neurodivergent brains, and hopefully show you how you can be a good ally to people that just experience the world differently. Today we're talking about something that many of us might take for granted: clubs and parties. They're loud, they're chaotic, and they're a big part of culture here in Berlin. And here's the thing, the dance floor should be for everyone, whether you roll in a wheelchair or whether you walk on your feet. But what happens when spaces aren't built for everyone in mind? What does real inclusion look like in a world built for standing? And today with me, I have someone who has been to some of the most iconic clubs on a wheelchair. She's a student here in Berlin and also a raver. And she often talks about accessibility for people in wheelchairs. It's Felize Fiedler. Hi, Felize. Super nice for you to be here.
Hi, thank you so much for inviting me.
So you've been already to so many parties, and you sometimes post about festivals on social media as well, on your Instagram account. But I was wondering, what was it like for you the first time when you decided to go out in a club or on a festival? Were you nervous?
Yeah, for sure. I guess I went to my first rave when I turned 18. And yeah, I was pretty nervous. I had these thoughts, how would people react seeing a person in a wheelchair? Will they be like aware of me, of their surrounding? Do I have to be worried of being hurt or something like that? But well, it turned out that the raver community and the techno community is really welcoming and really aware of other people with disabilities, for example.
We also talked about your recent holiday in Spain.
Yeah.
Were you also in Ibiza, right?
Yeah, right.
And you also went partying?
Yeah.
How was that like?
Yeah, it was a huge difference. Every time I get out of Germany, I also get the feeling that accessibility is way more important in the society than it is in Germany. For example, like the clubs, they have wheelchair accessible toilets and just a whole different concept of how to structure clubs and the whole venue being accessible. And it's, something I really miss in Germany.
Even here in Berlin?
Yeah, even here. I mean, it's better than in my hometown, for example, but there are still some things that can be improved.
That's what I was going to ask you, because you come from a small town in Saxony,
yeah,
right? What are the differences between, I guess, nightlife there and here in Berlin? Because it's like nightlife is such a big part culturally of Berlin.
Yeah, so I guess the biggest difference is that in Berlin there is a nightlife, and my hometown, we have 3,000 people living there, so there is no nightlife there. We don't really have techno clubs. I guess it's just a different crowd. People are more connected to some stereotypes. So I usually was the only person in a wheelchair there, and here I'm seeing some other people in a wheelchair when I've been to Berghain or other clubs.
And you talk about some of these experiences on your Instagram account. You do videos of you going to festivals and traveling. And how did you decide to be so public about it and open on Instagram?
Well, I often have the feeling that I'm just the only person in a wheelchair doing those things. And I feel like many people are just scared of doing that because you are the center of attention, because I am different, and this is something people will stare at, and it's something you have to be aware of. But with posting those videos and reclaiming that I can do those things with my disability and with my wheelchair, I decided to show people that I'm part of the society and I'm a person like everybody else. So.
Yeah. People heard that you've been to Berghain, which is one of the most exclusive clubs in the world. Is it hard to get in for you?
For me, honestly, I don't think so. Because when it comes to awareness and accessibility, nobody wants to discuss the topic of discrimination. And maybe I'm I'm taking this card, but well, there are so many other things I have to struggle with, so I'm just gonna take that for granted.
Behind us, we have a spinning wheel.
Yeah.
It's a colorful spinning wheel, and some of our viewers and listeners would already know about it. Each color of the wheel presents a myth. A myth about disability or a stereotype that people might have that you might have encountered as well. So we're going to spin the wheel, see where it lands, and then talk about wherever it lands.
Okay, nice.
Go
so
for it whenever you're ready. It's a beautiful blue. Okay, I'm going to let you read it.
Okay, so the card says, life is just doctor visits and hospitals.
How do you think about this stereotype?
I guess it's a stereotype which is true to some people. Sometimes when I meet other people in a wheelchair or with disabilities, with illnesses, I feel like they present this stereotype, but I'm not presenting this one because since my childhood, my parents always tried to live a normal life, to do the things other families do as well. I'm just trying to live with my illness and not for my illness. For sure, I have to go to the physical therapy, take care of my body, my condition, but I'm trying to just be a normal person and not always kind of live with the thought what will happen if I don't go to the doctor, because I mean we only have this life and we should
cherish
it and do the stuff we like and not just always have anxiety.
Yeah, let's spin the wheel again. Ooh, what is that color? Like
I
purple?
guess it's purple. You can't have a social life. Yeah.
Considering all that we've talked about, about going to parties and raves.
Sure. Many people, I often feel like they don't really know how to interact with me because they were scared of hurting me, saying something, or maybe they just didn't learn it, how to interact with people with a disability.
How do you approach that when someone is, I don't know, scared or unsure or don't know what to do? Like, do you outrightly tell them like, hey, can you please talk to me normally?
I mean, for sure, it depends in which mood I am. So when I'm outgoing and when I'm feeling okay, I'm telling the people that they should treat me like a normal person. And but for sure, when I'm also, not okay with myself, because it happens, I'm kind of reserved and I'm just more thinking about it, which is not right, because I should tell the people.
What are some of the things that people do, for example, that
they're weird?
That are weird, they're weird.
So a comment I often get in clubs is that, oh my God, it's so nice that you're here, or it makes me so happy seeing you here. And
as if you're so special, I'm so different.
Special. Or something I've experienced on Ibiza, because I went with two of my assistants and friends for sure. Some people asking my assistants if they are able to talk to me.
Oh, wow.
So they're just like, can I talk to her? And so
instead of actually approaching you.
Approaching me and talking to me. So I don't think that people have bad intents or just do it because they want to hurt me, or I don't know. I guess it's just because people don't really know. They just don't know, and they didn't learn. So
how to do it,
yeah.
Let's spin the wheel again.
Alrighty.
Red.
Disability defines your whole life. As I said, I'm not my disability. I'm a person with other character traits and with interests and dreams. And I often feel like people assume that a person in a wheelchair is also mentally disabled.
Yeah.
I guess this is also a thing I've experienced often.
And you talked in your Instagram about, for example, using the public transport.
Yeah.
A lot of people say oh no, it must be so hard for you to use the public transport. How do you manage this kind of condescending attitude? How do you respond to that?
Well, I usually tell them that I want to be part of the society and I don't want to be, sitting in an own separated car driving somewhere through the city where nobody actually sees me. For sure, there are some struggles I have to deal with. For example, in Berlin, when elevators are not working, there are also some
how do you do it? Is there how do you plan? Like if you want to go out, if you want to go to a club or if you want to go to an event, or even like, for example, here, you hear us in the studio, like what does it look like for you to plan it?
So I often plan more time to get there because it takes some time to, change to the other station and use the elevator, because many people who actually don't have to use the elevator are using the elevator.
Yes, for sure. I've seen people sneaking in that like have no luggage, have no like issues, and they just they just
so
want to
lazy
for convenience.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna tell them you have healthy legs, just gonna use the steps and and then there is actually a website where I can find the elevators that are not working, which is not always up to date, but I kind of stick to this as an information to structure myself.
So, I mean, your experiences of Berlin, from what I hear, are quite positive in terms of acceptance, in terms of awareness in clubs. I was wondering if there are any places where you didn't feel welcome, and maybe not because of the people themselves, but because of the spaces.
Actually, when talking about the summer season, I wanted to go to a rooftop bar, and it was like on top of a hotel. I don't want to name the hotel now, but I thought it was like a huge modern hotel, and I guess just gonna go there. And there was actually no accessible entrance to the rooftop bar, and I guess I couldn't go. And I mean, honestly, it's a shame for a city like Berlin. I mean, it's the capital of Germany, and also for this hotel, which was a 5-star hotel, I guess. And it's a shame.
And what do you think should change? Like, do you think there should be more awareness, or?
I feel like a huge difference would be including people with a disability in the whole construction process, because honestly, when I go to a wheelchair accessible toilet, the mirror is like way up and I just can't see myself. And this is something, people in the wheelchair would notice. And also just talking to people with those disabilities, and also for myself, standing up for myself, getting in contact with the people.
Yeah, for example, in the rooftop bar situation, what do you do? Do you talk to the management? Do you mention it to someone? Yeah,
I talked to the staff and said that, it shouldn't be like that. And now in Ibiza, I wrote some emails with a positive feedback, because I also think it's really important to make clear when something is good, when something is working. Not always pointing
not
out.
Not always negative reviews.
But usually I just give a feedback and talk to the people.
One thing that I really want to talk to you about is dating. And all the weird people that you can meet while dating in Berlin or in other cities. What is it like for you dating in Berlin compared to, let's say, where you come from in the small town in Saxony?
Honestly, I feel like dating here as a wheelchair user is better than in my hometown, because, I'm from a small town and people have those prejudices against people in the wheelchair. Also, a former friend of mine, he mentioned this comment to me saying, if there are people who are interested in a person like me.
In a person like you?
Like me,
Wow.
And I think that presents the whole mindset there when it comes to a person in a wheelchair dating or having like a sexual life or something like that. So I feel like people here are much more open-minded. I feel like people are seeing more myself instead of the wheelchair when it comes to meeting a person. And I mean, for sure, there are some weird stuff that happened to me.
Have you ever been objectified?
Yeah. So I've went on a date with someone and he just asked me like, I don't know, 5 times if I'm feeling something. Down there, yeah. And I mean, I guess the question is important. I'm just also fine with people asking me that because if it's respectful and mature, you know. But he just asked it like 5 times and he was like interested in exploring myself. So yeah, it was kind of weird. So
what is probably one of the, I guess, more frustrating assumptions that people have when dating?
When it comes to my disability?
When it comes to disability.
For sure, I'm scared of people that are saying that my disability is a problem for them or that they would date me if I weren't in a wheelchair.
Have you ever had these comments?
I've had not, but I feel like some people are or weren't scared of telling me that. So, and I would be fine with that, you know. I like it clear, just say what you're thinking and not just ghosting or sneaking away.
How do you deal with it on dating platforms? Are you very open about it, like saying like you put it in the description so that people are aware?
I guess I'm pretty open towards that. So I have like pictures of myself in a wheelchair. I also have like this bio saying that I'm a wheelchair user. I have like a genetic disease and I'm looking for a person who like treats me as a whole person, who is mature, dealing with the situation. So I'm just trying to be very, very open to just like, because I don't want to have the discussion afterwards when someone is matching with me or when we are about to meet. It's a whole surprise.
Yeah. So in our show, usually we have this little segment called Time Machine, where we go back in time and we explore a bit of history. So in this case, I thought like, wow, we're talking a lot about wheelchairs, so why don't we explore the history of this tool, the wheelchair?
Okay.
So we have this button right here, and whenever I press it, we're gonna go back in time and we see where we land. Okay. So 3, 2, 1. Our first stop is ancient China. Archaeologists have found carvings of wheeled chairs used to transport people since at least the 6th century. In medieval Europe, wheelbarrows were used to push people with limited mobility, allowing them, for example, to go on pilgrimages. In the 16th century, King Philip II of Spain had one of the earliest recorded wheelchairs in Europe. It had an elaborate design with arm and leg rests. But of course, this was luxury for royalty, not mobility for everyday people. Then, around 1655, in Nuremberg, Stefan Fiedler, a clockmaker, paralyzed from the waist down, built a self-propelled wheelchair. It used gears, cranks, and a 3-wheel frame so he could move independently. After the World Wars in the 20th century, hundreds of thousands of veterans returned home with disabilities that reduced their mobility, which increased demand for better wheelchair design. Perhaps the most commercially successful wheelchair was invented in the 1930s by Harry Jennings and Herbert Everest. It was a game changer. It was light, foldable, and could easily be transported in a car. Wheelchairs are now recognized not just as medical equipment, but as essential tools for independence. They've transformed from once luxury pieces to devices central to people's social, cultural, and everyday lives. So we're back in the back in the current times. What is a wheelchair for you? How do you perceive a wheelchair?
So a wheelchair for me actually means like freedom, because without it I wouldn't be able to get around or see festivals, see the world. Well, many people often think that I should be sad sitting in a wheelchair, or they're saying, I'm so sorry, I pity you, and stuff like that. And I feel like they think I'm just being tied up to my wheelchair, but it's not the case.
And you do lots of videos about it. Out of curiosity, what's your favorite place that you visited?
After my brother and me graduated from secondary school, we've made like a little road trip to the US, like to the West Coast, like with LA, Las Vegas.
Nice.
And San Francisco, so
it's very beautiful. Probably like also for me, one of the most beautiful places that I've visited. Also, out of curiosity, you go to a lot of parties and raves, and I guess now it's kind of the end of season. But is there something that you're looking forward to still this year or maybe next year?
I would say one of my big dreams is attending Tomorrowland. I mean, it's like...
Is it in Belgium?
It's in Belgium, yeah, it's in Boom. I mean, since I've started listening to electronic music, it was always like a dream of myself going to the Tomorrowland Festival and, well, sometime, maybe.
What kind of changes do you want to see ideally in club spaces or in festivals, say here in Berlin, or festivals that you go traveling for, that would be even more accommodating for people with disabilities?
So I guess like a huge difference would be, as I said, including people in the whole organization process and the whole construction process, and just be like more aware of diversity, because, you know, diversity doesn't only mean for me, towards gender diversity, it's also about people with disabilities. And I often, when I, do my research, trying to find some information about the clubs, often it's like saying open towards gender equality and stuff like that. And
that's not the only aspect of diversity.
It's for sure, it's really important, but a society isn't just diverse when it comes to gender. So it's also about people with disabilities, with special needs, and this is something I would love to see in the future.
And I'm looking forward to seeing more of your content on Instagram,
for sure.
And people can also follow you.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you so much for being here. I think it was a great conversation.
Yeah, also I really enjoyed it.
What did you learn in this episode? Was there anything surprising? If you're joining us on YouTube, write us in the comments. And if you're listening to us on any of our podcasting platforms, then write us an email on freaks@dw.com. Bye from me, and remember, be patient, be kind, and be understanding.
Freaks No More.